Good evening and welcome to your Thursday, October 2, 2025 edition of the Evening News. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for joining us. Let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. President Ali pushing local private sector to build crude trading capacity. EXXON'S LONGTAIL development could supply hydrocarbon for BERBICE gas projects. Court of Appeal throws out FGM'S challenge against GECOM. Don't worry about it, there will be several cash grants in the next 5 years, says VP JAGDEO. Police destroy over $1 billion in ganja along BERBICE River. A Northwest District man busted with gun ammunition after allegedly threatening to shoot villager. Now for the news in detail. President Dr. Irfaan Ali has announced that he will be working with the private sector in Guyana to build local capacity so that they can eventually take over in selling Guyana's share of crude oil received from offshore production activities. Here is Vanu Manikchand with the details.
Addressing stakeholders at an Energy Insight Breakfast Forum hosted by the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry on a Thursday morning, President Dr. Irfaan Ali said the local private sector must equip themselves with the capability and capacity to not just supply the oil and gas industry, but actively participate in the business opportunities.
I will be working with the local private sector and international partners to ensure that we develop our capability and capacity in crude oil trading. We must be able to trade our crude oil from Guyana with the infrastructure, with the human capital, and with the market skills.
According to the head of state, doing this could see Guyanese-owned businesses being able in the next few years to market Guyana's share of crude oil produced offshore on their own.
That is going to create enormous opportunities for us. And we have to short-circuit this. So we have to get those who have already done it for other countries to work with us in transferring the knowledge. Maybe to enter a partnership for the next 3, 4, 5 years until we get the experience to do it on our own. These are the bold decisions that we must embrace.
Based on the production sharing agreement for the oil-rich Stabroek Block, Guyana receives a 50% share of the profit oil from offshore operations. Since production started in December 2019, the country has been hiring international companies to market its share of crude. Currently, British firms BB Energy Trading Limited and JE Energy have been contracted to market crude oil from the Liza Destiny, Unity and Prosperity floating production, storage and offloading FPSO vessels for 1 year. These two companies had previously marketed Guyana's crude from the 2023 to 2024 period. Already in the first half of 2025, Guyana earned just over US $1.05 billion from crude oil sales so far. This, combined with royalty payments, has seen the country's total oil revenues earned in the first half of 2025 reaching some US $1.22 billion or 255 billion Guyana dollars, monies that are being held in the Natural Resources Fund at the New York Federal Reserve Bank, where it is earning interest. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manikchand.
Here is Vanu Manikchand once again, this time to report that following the approval of the Hammerhead project, ExxonMobil Guyana is already working to bring online its 8th development project, Longtail, which has significant natural gas deposits that could be tapped into for major initiatives like fertilizer plants, data centers, and the alumina plant that the Guyana government has touted for BERBICE.
Updating industry stakeholders at an event hosted by the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry on Thursday, production manager of ExxonMobil Guyana, Huzafa Ali, indicated that the Longtail project, the company's 8th development that is located southeast of the Stabroek Block offshore, could potentially supply hydrocarbons for several gas-powered initiatives being touted by the government.
The southern part of the Stabroek Block is referred to as a high GOR area, rich in gas resources. And we are well on our way to appraise those resources and then also take that to the next step, which is consider what is the most valuable development concept that brings the highest value for the people of Guyana, for the government of Guyana, and for the other stakeholders. And then as we think about that, you can see in the diagram here a potential vision of what that gas could potentially be used for. It includes things like a pipeline coming onshore into the BERBICE area and then be used for various different outputs, whether that be data centers, alumina, and or further fertilizer development.
Currently, a pipeline has been put in place to bring the rich natural gas from the Liza Destiny and Unity floating production, storage and offloading FPSO vessels offshore to the gas-to-energy project at Wales, West Bank, Demerara, where a 300-megawatt power plant and a natural gas liquids facility is being constructed. Plans are also underway for a second power plant and NGL facility at the Wales site, which Exxon says it could also supply the gas for.
Potentially a second power plant that could supply additional power to the country of Guyana. It could supply also other manufacturing and or industrial uses, whether that be data centers, and or fertilizer plants and other investments in the Wales area. So we continue to work with the government on those opportunities and look forward to progressing those into the future.
Only last week, the Guyana government approved Exxon's seventh development project offshore, Hammerhead, which also has a large gas deposit. Natural Resources Minister Vikram Bharat recently disclosed plans to utilize the gas from the Hammerhead project to power the second phase of the gas-to-energy project at Wales. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manakchand.
We are now joined by Davina Samaru, who reports that the Court of Appeal on Thursday dismissed the case brought by Forward Guyana Movement political party against the Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM, chastising it as most unmeritorious given that the case does not meet the bar of a major matter in the public interest.
In a summary judgment delivered by Acting Chancellor Justice Roxanne George, the Court of Appeal upheld an earlier decision made on August 29th by Acting Chief Justice Navindra Singh in the High Court. Justice George agreed with Justice Singh's interpretation of Article 160 of the Constitution and the Representation of the People Act, ROPA, stating that a political party cannot earn votes in a geographical constituency unless it submits a list of candidates and actively contests in that area. Therefore, she said it was correct that a party can only appear on the ballot in constituencies where it is actually running. Describing the case as lacking merit, Justice George criticized it for consuming significant court resources unnecessarily, especially considering the urgency with which it had to be addressed due to the claims made. She emphasized that the constitutional and legal provisions at issue were clear and that the case did not meet the threshold for a matter of significant public interest. The court also criticized the applicant for selectively referencing parts of the Constitution to support a flawed argument. According to Justice George, the applicant attempted to interpret the law by isolating certain provisions rather than reading them in full context. As such, the appeal was dismissed. The case was brought by Crystal Hadasso Fisher, a candidate for the Forward Guyana Movement in Region 9, who was represented by attorney Vivian Williams. The challenge centered on the exclusion of political parties from ballots in regions where they did not submit geographical constituency lists. Fisher claimed that this practice infringed on the constitutional right of citizens to vote for a party of their choice. On this note, FGM did not submit candidate lists for Regions 7, 8, and 9 and was thus excluded from the ballots in those areas. The applicant also argued that this practice was discriminatory and contrary to Article 13 of the Constitution. However, the court upheld that the High Court's previous finding that the onus was on the parties themselves to make their presence felt in those regions. Justice George stated that it was FGM and not GECOM that effectively denied its potential supporters the opportunity to vote for the party by not fielding candidates in those constituencies. She added that FGM chose not to participate in the democratic process in these regions and that GECOM did not breach any legal requirement by omitting them from the ballot. Justice George concluded that the absence of a party from the ballot in areas it did not contest cannot reasonably be viewed as discrimination. It would be irrational, she added, to claim that a constitutional violation occurred when a party chooses not to participate and then claims unfair treatment based on that very absence. The appeal court also awarded an additional $1 million in cost to each of the respondents in the case, being the Attorney General and GECOM, which must be paid by November 14.
Let's now tell you that Vice President Dr. JAGDEO has reassured citizens that whenever the People's Progressive Party Civic makes a promise, it will deliver. He emphasized this point in response to a question during his press conference on whether the government has made a decision on rolling out a cash grant initiative in time for Christmas. On the campaign trail, President Dr. Irfan Ali had hinted that his government will distribute another cash grant to citizens, possibly in time for Christmas if re-elected to office.
Whatever the president said on the campaign trail, he said he was mulling it. I'm glad you said he was mulling it. He didn't say, like on the other things, there shall be, but he said, I'm mulling it. But there will be, and this is a 5-year term we have. There'll be several cash grants in the 5 years. So don't worry about it. There are 5 years term. This is not as a 3 months term that we have now. We haven't even started the 5 years as yet.
No, but he said mulling before Christmas.
Mulling,
so
yes,
I'm
mulling,
asking,
mulling. He's mulling, yeah.
As a decision being
Yeah,
made on the
but the
Christmas.
thing is that whatever the president said, I told you, will be delivered. But the thing is that we're not in for 3 months in office. We're in office till 2031.
The Narcotics Branch of the Guyana Police Force, in collaboration with Regional Police Division 6, conducted an eradication exercise at Kuyurokori Creek, Upper BERBICE River, on Wednesday, during which more than 1 billion worth of cannabis was found and destroyed. The exercise unearthed 6 cannabis farms over a total acreage of 21 acres, which had approximately 118,000 cannabis plants ranging from 2 feet to 7 feet in height. 8 camps and 10 drying areas were also discovered, along with 2 500 pounds of dried ganja. In addition, 1 tractor, 7 tilling machines, 1 chainsaw, 2 generators, 6 weeding machines, 3 mist blowers, 16 spray cans, and 9 water pumps were found. Police have estimated the destroyed cannabis plants to be 39,978,400, while the dried ganja is estimated at 1,020,582. Coming up, Zero Interest Development Bank to launch next year, says VP JAGDEO, and NWD man busted with gun ammunition after allegedly threatening to shoot villager. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Granny! What are you doing on the right of way? Like you're saying that the sunshine stretch your legs. Sunshine? Look, forget I ask. You know you're not supposed to be on the right of way, Granny. But I am digging, building, burning or planting. No horsing wrong, no horse riding or nothing for doing horses. But sunshine? But you and sunshine get to have the right of way. Sunshine will be glad. Good.
Planning a road trip, job site setup, or backyard lime? Sylvie's 60-liter solar cooler keeps your drinks ice cold and charges your phone. No electricity needed. Built tough, solar powered, and ready for off-grid life. Call Sylvie's in Georgetown at 227-6243 or Essequibo at 624-5121. Visit us at 31 High and Hatfield Street or Lot 90 East Henrietta, Essequibo Coast. Shop online at sylviesonline.com. sylviesonline.com, your partner in productivity.
Mom, did you tell him that Danny went to pick up KFC?
No, wait a minute. Are we really not going to tell him we already have KFC?
A tasty dinner shouldn't be that complicated. Crunch the routine and order a delicious KFC bucket for the best price. KFC, it's
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. As the Guyana government continues to work on modernizing and expanding the country's financial sector, plans are being made for the re-establishment of a junior stock exchange that will open up financing opportunities for small and medium-sized enterprises. Here is Vanu Manikchand with the details.
President Dr. Irfan Ali on Thursday announced that his administration is currently looking at the possibility of establishing a junior stock exchange, a type of stock exchange where small and growing companies can raise capital by offering shares to the public. The head of state made this announcement at a breakfast forum hosted by the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry on energy insights. In the past, the chamber had called for an overhaul of the Guyana Stock Exchange, which only has about 15 local companies with publicly listed shares. Vice President Dr. Bart Jagdeo had previously noted that while the Guyana government is prepared to support the modernization of the local stock exchange, he reminded that this is a privately owned mechanism. Nevertheless, during the GCCI event on Thursday, President Ali outlined plans to modernize the local financial sector.
In 3 weeks, that report will come to us as to how we modernize our banking sector, the creation of a modern stock exchange, and options for capital mobilization. Many people are speaking about diaspora bonds and all of these. All of these options will be examined.
Meanwhile, as part of modernizing the financial sector, the head of state indicated that government will ensure that every Guyanese have a bank account.
We have to be able, in the shortest time frame, to ensure every Guyanese have a bank account, even if the government must incentivize the opening up of those bank accounts. So a modern economy that is powered by a modern financial sector, one in which efficiency, reliability, and results drive our governance.
Only earlier this week, the Guyanese leader announced a slew of measures aimed at strengthening and stabilizing Guyana's financial system, with specific focus on financial and banking services and the foreign currency market. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manikchand.
Vice President Dr. JAGDEO announced today that the Guyana government is working towards launching the Zero Interest Development Bank for small and medium-sized enterprises next year. Davina Samaru has the details.
The development of a zero-interest development bank for small and medium-sized enterprises was revealed by the People's Progressive Party Civic on the campaign trail. After winning the 2025 elections, a team was established by President Dr. Irfan Ali to accelerate the launch of this initiative. Vice President Dr. JAGDEO told reporters during a press conference on Thursday that work has already started on the concept paper and funding for the project should be included in the 2026 budget.
Next week we'll be discussing it further. We want an early budget next year where we will be putting part of the financing to start the bank in the budget. We hope that before the end of next year that this bank will be fully established and functional, that the seed capital would be put in, and all the parameters for on lending these resources would have been in place and met so that we can start delivering on this promise very early in the new term. A lot of work has already been done in developing the concept. As I said before, next week we're meeting to have a discussion on the second draft of the concept. We already have we've given the people who are working on this, these concept papers, clear indications of what our intentions are, and we want to make sure that those are reflected in the final concept document before we proceed to implement.
In emphasizing the importance of this initiative, the Vice President highlighted that many Guyanese have great business ideas but lack financing to either start or grow their ventures. As such, he said apart from the Zero Interest Development Bank, the government will work with the commercial banks to open up avenues for access to financing.
We will ensure that the formal banking system is reformed in a way that they can have easier access to capital and at greater magnitudes. We will work with the banking system to develop a range of instruments from discounting trade invoices to project financing to commercial bank financing that would allow Guyanese to better use the banking system to support their business needs. And we will also, as promised, create this development bank for the group of people who may not have access to the commercial banks so that they too can realize the benefits and opportunities of our country.
It was previously reported that this development bank would not only offer 0% interest, co-financing, and support access to liquidity, but will reduce the cost of borrowing and remove the collateral requirement, which are burdensome to SMEs. Reporting for the Evening News, Davina Samaru.
Here now is Michael Henry, who reports that hatching eggs production is set to be on the boost as Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa announces a major investment in local production through a partnership between the private sector and government.
Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa announced that a massive investment will be undertaken within the agriculture sector following a new partnership between the Ministry of Agriculture and the private sector.
We are now moving to do a massive investment with the private sector in hatching egg production. As a matter of fact, we have already in the houses, the tunnel houses them that we'll be using. They are on its way to Guyana. We are working with lands and survey, and the project will be happening, as the President rightly said, in Poultry. And lands clearing have already started, and Dr. Waljan has been working with the private sector to move this process forward.
Currently, Guyana uses about 53 million hatching eggs yearly. On that note, he added that the initiative will be rolled out in a few months and highlighted the improvements compared to the hatching eggs previously available.
So in a very short space of time, you will see massive transformation in that sector moving. But as I'm speaking also, we are continuing to expand in terms of hatching eggs that we had before. But as I said, that we will be investing in terms of be self-sufficient in Guyana. That is, we are using approximately 53 million hatching eggs annually. I am hoping that with this project that we are about to launch, that we will surpass that and will also export into the Caribbean markets.
When it comes to the livestock industry, Guyana is currently self-sufficient in table eggs and poultry. But President Dr. Irfan Ali has underscored many times that he wants Guyana to be able to produce hatching eggs here, as well as expand poultry production to build local export capacity. In recent months, the world faced significant challenges in food production due to environmental changes, resource constraints, and increasing global demand. With soaring demand for poultry products, including hatching eggs, table eggs, and broiler meat, the government is ramping up efforts to ensure food security and mitigate risks posed by the global bird flu outbreak. Michael Henry, The Evening News.
Region 6 is entering a new era of infrastructural, educational, and economic transformation with a number of major projects which promise to reshape the social and economic landscape for residents. Andrew Carmichael takes a look at how residents could position themselves to benefit from this transformation.
Palmaria is developing into what is evolved as a mini-city in Region 6. More than $7 billion in initial works have already been invested in the community, where housing, commercial and civic amenities are being erected. Plans are underway for hundreds of houses, young professional homes, hotels, a modern mall, a hospital, and eventually a regional airstrip. There will also be a national cultural market to showcase Guyana's art, culture, food, dance, and history. There is also a stadium being constructed at Palmaria. Regional Chairman David Armagon believes that improved living standards are some of the benefits for residents, with the creation of jobs as the most prominent.
So you also know the Palmaria Stadium is near to completion. It's going to be completed sometime next year. And so when that is completed too, that is going to be a very busy thoroughfare. The 4-lane highway is proceeding. The Chinese have already started, and the Indians are likely to start very shortly. And so when that is completed too, that will be a major development for us in this region. The bridge connecting Guyana to Suriname is also likely to start as soon as the finances are available and the negotiations are complete.
Similarly, Port Morant is becoming a key educational and training hub in Region 6, especially for the growing oil and gas and tourism hospitality sectors. There is a national training center being transformed to include a hospitality institute as well as the oil and gas training component. The first phase, valued at about $160 million, is moving apace. President of the Central Quarantine Chamber of Commerce, Punai Bigru, says the Port Morant development project is just one of several things happening in the region.
If we go at the back of where Port Morant Hospital is, I happen to pass there very often. You need to go there and look at the transformation of what's happening right in our own backyard. In another year or year and a half time, the ExxonMobil school will be finished, the hospitality center will be finished. And then if you're coming from New Amsterdam, we can look and see what's going to happen at Palmyra. It has started already, and we can look, and then BERBICE will be transformed with the new highway. So there's a lot of things happening, BERBICE.
He also alluded that people in the region need to position themselves to take advantage of these developments, noting that in order to do so, persons need to pay close attention to the government's vision. Weighing in on the discussion of transformation, Finance Minister Dr. Ashley Singh pointed out that there are opportunities in every sector, especially when it comes to producers increasing their rate of investment, which will ultimately increase production due to the growing demand of goods and services.
So, President Bonai, I was very happy when you said, I can't quote your exact words, but I heard when you said that it is important to think about where the country is going and the opportunities that are arising It is the people who will succeed and prosper are the people who think of where we are going as a country and as a region, and what the opportunities are that will arise, and how they can position themselves, and be prepared to take the risk to raise and invest capital in order to generate returns from the very exciting future.
For the evening news, Andrew Carmichael.
50-year-old Bradley Thomas, a farmer from Baramita, Northwest District, Region 1, was taken into custody on Wednesday for having an unlicensed 16-gauge shotgun in his possession. Acting on information received, police contacted Thomas after he reportedly threatened a villager, but he denied the allegation. However, during a search of Bradley's home and surroundings, the shotgun, along with 4 matching rounds of cartridges and 4 12-gauge cartridges, was found, concealed among some banana suckers. When questioned, he told police that he was not the holder of a firearm license and stated, "Officer, I bought the gun and ammunition from a Spanish man for $30,000, end quote. He remains in custody pending further investigations. And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge is expected to be closed to vehicular traffic on Friday, October 3, 2025 at 1:45 for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the BERBICE River Bridge is expected to be closed on Friday, October 3, 2025 at 13:40, also for a period of 1.5 hours.
6th annual KFC Goodwill Tournament to feature Brazil-Bahamas teams, and India gained upper hand after bowlers wrecked West Indies on day 1. These and more coming up in this evening's Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp.
It's Cricket Carnival time and MacCorp is knocking prices out of the park. Get the powerful Cat 320 GX for just 30 million, the SEM 655 D-Wheel loader at 17.4 million, or the SEM 636 D-Wheel loader for only 13.8 million. Each machine comes with free fuel warranty registration, 2 years warranty and a customer value agreement for the first 500 hours. Don't wait. Register your interest now at MacCorpCat.com or call us today on 703-8618. MacCorp, let's build Guyana together.
Premier insurance coverage for less. Stay safe. Premier insurance coverage for less. Stay safe.
Mom, did you tell him that Danny went to pick up KFC?
No, wait a minute. Are we really not going to tell him we already have KFC?
A tasty dinner shouldn't be that complicated. Crunch the routine and order a delicious KFC bucket for the best price. KFC.
Granny, what are you doing on the right of way? Like you're saying that the sunshine stretch your legs. Sunshine? Look, forget I ask. You know you're not supposed to be on the right of way, Granny. But I am digging, building, burning or planting. No horsing wrong, no horse riding or nothing for doing horses. But sunshine? What? You and sunshine get off the right of way. Sunshine, let me glad. Good.
In today's tough driving conditions, every engine faces 3 powerful enemies: engine heat, pollutants, and frequent short trips. Each factor is a direct cause of engine sludge, a buildup of dirt that can block vital oilways. This triple threat demands triple protection. Castrol GTX's Triple Protect Power is engineered to fight these 3 main causes of engine sludge.